Hey, it's Boris. This is Twin Cities Dual Power. It's 10:55 a.m. on Saturday, January 24th. About 2 hours ago, ICE shot and killed a man on 26th and Nicollet Avenue. There's a video that's being circulated online. You can see about 6 agents beating him, tackling him to the ground, beating him on the ground, and then shooting him somewhere from 6 to 12 times. The man was reported dead recently by Star Trib. It's just another execution in this ongoing occupation. This will be the third person who's died recently in interactions with ICE. Yesterday, something like 100,000 people came out into downtown Minneapolis to protest ICE. Thousands more were at the airport shutting it down, with many faith leaders there getting arrested. And another group blocked off the Whipple building at multiple entrances and kept ICE penned in for several hours. Minneapolis is absolutely sick and dying and bleeding from this ICE occupation. This ICE occupation that isn't accomplishing anything, that isn't solving any of our problems, that isn't addressing any of the reasons that illegal immigrants feel the need to come to this country or to flee their own countries. Democrats have done nothing but talk in this situation. They haven't done anything. Tim Walz posted an hour ago saying that he talked to Donald Trump on the phone, but not saying that he would do anything. He just said ICE has to leave now, which is the same thing he said for the last month. Democrats aren't going to help us get out of this. Impeaching Trump isn't going to help us get out of this. The only thing that'll help us get out of this is if we organize a completely new kind of political movement that is completely independent of the Democrats, of the state, of the people murdering us in our streets, of the people watching from Washington, from, St. Paul, from, the high hill, waiting for us to die so that they can score points for their next re-election. Using the judicial system isn't going to accomplish anything either. Protesters filed a suit that a Minnesota judge accepted and put an injunction on ICE from using tear gas and pepper balls and pepper spray against peaceful observers and protesters. But on appeal, an Eighth Circuit Court judge put a stay on that, meaning that tactics that were already illegal now have a pretense of legality to them. This is just emboldening ICE. Moving against them through the legal system isn't going to help because the legal system is designed to let them do what they're doing. Cops help cops. It doesn't go any other way. I just got a direct report that Keith Ellison is on the ground at the scene of the shooting, and that he's saying that ICE is preventing Minnesota investigators from reaching the scene. He also said that National Guard is headed that way to force ICE to let Minnesota investigators in. But we all know what the National Guard is going to do when they get there. They're going to back up the police who show up, and they're going to force protesters out to prevent them from holding that space. There's not much more information available right now, so that'll be it for today. If more develops, I'll release another episode as soon as I can. You can find this podcast on Apple, on Spotify, anywhere where you look for podcasts normally. Subscribe, send it to your friends, send it to your comrades. I'm just trying to get the word out about what's going on in Minneapolis. I'm trying to do it in a timely manner, and I'm trying to do it as honestly and straightforwardly as I can. I don't pretend I don't have an agenda. I do have an agenda. It's to get the working class to recognize that the state is not and will never be their friend, no matter what party is in power, and that we need to do something totally different, something that has not been done in 100 years, if not much longer. The state is there to keep us in line and to kill us when we get out of line. It's not there to help us, no matter how nice it is, no matter how many benefits it gives us, no matter what rhetoric they use to try to convince us to be quiet and to go to work and to stay home. We need to rise up, and we need to organize in our communities, in our society, in our cities, in our states, and across our country and across the entire world. We need to do it without any help from the state, without trusting any state actors, any politicians. We might end up with new politicians, but they need to be our politicians. Better yet, we should do without politicians. Obama didn't solve any of our problems, and Trump didn't create any of our problems. Trump is just a symptom of the problems we already have. Problems caused at the root by the fact that the working class has no power, no political power, no social power. We do, however, have unlimited economic power. The working class are the people who do everything in society. Nothing happens without us. We showed that yesterday through a general strike. A strike like that can shut down the entire world. But a strike like that is not enough, because the goal is not just to shut it down. The goal is to build something new, something better, something where everyone whose work contributes to the good of society actually gets a say in what that society looks like. Part of the mission of this podcast is to try to talk to people to figure out what that might be. Stay tuned.